For 22 years, Lad Pfeifer has served as the music director and organist at St. Michael's Cathedral. Pfeifer retired recently and in doing so left behind a legacy of remarkable performances with the Cathedral Choir of Boys and Adults, a group he helped to form and one that people will treasure for years to come. Steve Kiltonick spoke to Pfeifer before his last Mass at the Cathedral and prepared this report.
For the past 2 decades, St. Michael's Cathedral has witnessed the musical talents of Lad Pfeifer, the music director of the Springfield Diocese.
With the voice of singing,
his accomplishments are many. Whether it's playing the organ or directing the Cathedral Choir of Boys and Adults, Pfeifer has been present at every major event that has taken place in the cathedral since 1999. Pfeifer decided to retire recently, but before playing his final note, he sat down to discuss his lifelong love of music. Pfeifer grew up in Springfield, the 5th of 6 children born to the late Ladislaw and Teresa Pfeifer.
My parents made sure that I and my 6 siblings all studied some sort of an instrument. It was just part of growing up in that house, and so you could not escape it.
Pfeiffer's instrument of choice was the violin. Around the 3rd grade, he started to sing in the Diocesan Boys Choir at Sacred Heart Elementary School in Springfield.
So I went off to Syracuse University to study with Louis Krosner, who was a well-known violinist at the time. During my first year there was a fabulous organ at the college, and I fell in love with the organ. And they told me I was nuts. I would never be able to really learn how to play it. It was too late in life, and I would never be able to support myself. But I said, oh, the hell with it.
Pfeifer earned a bachelor's in organ performance, then a master's in music at Indiana University. He went on to study music and theology in Europe. After 7 years, Pfeifer returned home to be closer to his family. He was the organist at Holy Family in Holyoke and in charge of a large children's chorus in Connecticut when the diocese called. They were looking for someone to start a resident choral program, which had been disbanded during the Second Vatican Council.
When I came here, there was absolutely nothing. There was no choral music, no instrumental music.
After arriving, Pfeifer began recruiting boys ages 8 to 8th grade for the choir. Besides singing, Pfeifer taught the boys how to read music and basic music theory, which was a key to performing difficult pieces well.
You give them the hardest stuff we have, and you have them rise up to the challenge, and they do. You just have to give them time and know how to prepare them.
For 21 years, the choir loft here at St. Michael's Cathedral was Lad Pfeiffer's home away from home. From this vantage point, high above the sanctuary level, Pfeifer would play the magnificent Cassavan organ and also directed countless masses, funerals, ordinations, graduations, and other liturgical events. The choir became best known for its traditional performances like lessons and carols. Over the years, Pfeifer chose most of the music, but some were selected by the boys themselves.
We did some very big pieces of Elgar. We did the Benedictus and the Te Deum of Elgar.
Other performances included Vivaldi's Glorias, Gounod's Mass No. 4, Dvorak's Mass in D, and the Bach Cantata for Passion Sunday. One of Pfeiffer's favorite annual performances was Tenebrae on Good Friday. Pfeifer said his high point was the 2004 installation of Bishop Timothy McDonnell.
He was having all his friends from New York come, and I suppose he wanted to give them a good show. And we pulled out all the stops. It was just so many big things, and the building was full. It was just a remarkable event.
The Browers, Michael and son Jacob, joined the choir close to 14 years ago. Jacob appeared on Reel to Reel in 2010, shortly after he started.
What he did for the boys was try to say, what you do is important. It's not just you're coming to sing. You're doing something important for all these people to help them pray and to help increase their spirituality.
Each boy worked his way up from a novice to scholar, then senior chorister level. Pfeifer recognized their achievements with an award ceremony each year. While most boys finished choir by the 8th grade, Brower continued.
I chose to stay because I really liked it. I liked singing. I liked every aspect of it. It was fun. It was something that I know that you don't ever get to experience in a lot of other places.
Evan Garber, who joined the choir in 3rd grade, was also featured on Reel to Reel.
He just was so patient and so understanding, and because it takes a certain kind of person to be able to basically babysit 30 to 40 boys, but also teach them like this insanely difficult music.
Pfeifer inspired Garber to continue choir in high school and band in college.
He's just the greatest role model that any person could ever ask for. I still think about things that he would say, or just the way that he looked at life. I think about it all the time.
He feels that music can bring so much to a person's life, and to instill that in a child, especially a young boy, and then I watch these young boys as they grow, they get older, you see that change. You see that self-confidence get instilled in them.
During the pandemic, when singing was non-existent, Pfeifer continued the boys' music education through a set of donated handbells. Pfeifer plans to spend his retirement years gardening and traveling the 7 seas in his 70-foot motor yacht. As he leaves behind his gargoyles and a pair of well-worn organ shoes, Pfeifer has these parting words.
It's been wonderful. I'm one of the few people who can say they spend all their time in the house of the Lord.
For Reel to Reel, I'm Steve Kiltonick.
From time to time, you may see a guest appearance of Pfeifer at St. Michael's Cathedral. He's happy to offer assistance to the new director when one is chosen, and said he's not retiring or saying goodbye as much as he's just stepping aside. These days, you'll find Pfeifer enjoying some much-needed R&R at Acadia National Park in Maine, the first stop on his summer seafaring journey. We at Catholic Communications, who worked closely with Ladd, wish him the best and calm seas.